listening to their challenges piqued our interest in agriculture, and we wanted to try and see if there's something that we could do to solve these challenges. We strongly believe that to solve a problem to solve a problem, you need to experience it, and that is how we got into the whole, farming itself. It's been about 3.5 years now, and we've been farming for the last 3.5 years. We've done seven cropping seasons, and that's how Farm Chakra, the company, was born. We started off as services to farmers, and then we realized that we need to have skin in the game. So we farm ourselves right now on almost 250 acres of leased land. Let me share my screen to talk a little bit more about my company. Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam, visible.
Okay, just a second. Okay. So we are a sustainable modern farming company. What we do is we pick potential farms that can scale. Then we employ small and marginal farmers close to our farms on a monthly salary. And then we use basic science and advanced techniques along with the farmer knowledge to increase the value that we can output per acre. Our operating model, like I said, we partner with farmland owners. We lease land for them from them. We work with medium and large farmland owners who own at least 12 acres and above, and we have a hub of about 250 acres in 10 to 15 kilometer radius. And then we onboard farmers who are small and marginal farmers that live close to our farms because they have a lot of time apart from working in their farms to come and take care of ours. So they come and work on our farms as supervisors, and we manage the whole crop production using the best of science, soil science, and integrated pest management. And then we primarily grow paddy, soya, and maize in our first phase. And then we sell our produce, our residue-free produce, to mostly food processors for now. Our farming philosophy took about 2 years to evolve. We knew that we wanted to do responsible and sustainable farming. It's easier said than done. In fact, we actually we started off with organic and natural farming, but we were not able to, it wasn't financially viable for us at all. And that is when we uh, looked at integrated pest management, and that is when we started questioning our farming philosophy. There are two focus points that we have. One is how do we nourish the soil organic carbon content, and two is how do we grow residue free produce. These are the two guiding principles for all the farming that we do. To nourish the soil, our organic carbon content, we do two things. We grow cover crops like jilugu, which helps us increase the carbon content in the soil and the nitrogen fixation. The second thing we do is we use granules of city compost, and we have seen tremendous results with the granules of city compost. And it's very easy to broadcast this granules of city compost. And we have seen really good paddy nursery develop when we used the city compost. The second thing that we do is we have tied up with a goshala close by to produce bioinoculant. This bioinoculant is fermented over time, and we use this regularly in our fields. Basically, when the water is flooded, we add some bioinoculant to it, and this helps the micro this helps the living soil thrive in our farms. The third thing that we do to nourish soil health is, after paddy and everything is grown, usually most farmers are compelled to burn the crop stubble, because that is one of the easiest ways to prepare your land quickly for the next season. But we knew that it was killing most of the good microorganisms that we actually need for the upcoming crop season. So in about 75% of our fields, we mulch the crop stubble back into the soil. 25% we are compelled to burn still, and that is something that we are actively working on to see how can we bring it to 100%. So that is how we nourish soil health. The second thing is growing residue free produce. There's two things that we do primarily here. One is integrated pest management, so right from using pheromone traps to solar light traps, to the bioinoculant, which increases the immunity of our crop. And we use eco-friendly selective pesticides. Spraying the right quantity at the right time is another easy way to grow residue-free produce that we follow. We started in 2019 with about 3 acres of farm, and then slowly we worked our way up to 250 acres. We've had lots of challenges along the way. We in 2021 we grew to 50 acres, and that is when we forayed into something called crop equity investment, where a lot of general investors can invest, like how people invest in the stock market. They can invest in the crop to be a part of the to be a part of the farming experience, and that we share our returns with our crop investors. 2022 Rabi, we were operationally profitable on our 50 acres, and that gave us the confidence to expand into 250 acres. So right now we operate in northern Telangana in about across 12 sites. We don't have one site of 250 acres. We take over and about 10 acres of land wherever available in the hub where we operate. There's this Kharif season, the monsoon was super challenging season for us. June was, fully dry. We also own our own equipment, and we were very prepared with all the the Gantt charts and the project management tools to deploy our tractors and on all our fields and get our fields prepared for the crop. But it did not rain. There was no canal water, so our lands were dry in June. And July it poured, and 10 to 20 acres of 10% of our entire land parcel was completely flooded. And then with the terrible weather, we had lots of challenges in with electricity, transformers. So it was very humbling to experience the challenges in farming that you cannot control, especially the weather, and the fluctuation is extreme. In fact, we worked with Bajaj Alliance to underwrite a crop insurance for paddy just for us. It took us about 3 months to work with them. It was too expensive to get an all-inclusive, insurance. So we just opted for the drought insurance, which costed about 3% premium. But we closed it in June, and in July we had floods. So our insurance wasn't going to be useful for us anymore. Um, you can call us as a contract farming company where we do the farming. We take the risk, the short-term risk that comes from switching to sustainable farming. We believe that there is a lot of risk in farming which cannot be. Sorry, there's a request on the screen. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of risk in farming that a small farmer has to take, right from yield loss due to pest attack, yield loss due to weather, yield loss due to poor seeds, and market price fluctuations, losing some of the produce on the way to the market yard. In our model, we take all those risks. We want to depend on the farmer for their farming expertise and provide a way for assured income. Let me talk about the need for contract farming, right? It will not replace small and marginal farmers. It's a solution for medium and large farmers who own over and about 12 acres of land. And while there's a lot of emphasis on the number of farmers in the small and marginal space, right? India has about 85% of its farmers are small and marginal farmers. But only 5% of the farmers do about 32% of the cultivation in India. And that's a huge amount of cultivation. And we need to build solutions for the entire spectrum, for small and marginal farmers, for medium and large farmland owners too. This is where contract farming, we believe, will improve the productivity of the farmland. The second compelling factor we see is average age of an Indian farmer is about 50 years, and rural youth is migrating for jobs for assured income. families in rural areas are fatigued from taking, years of risk from farming. I want to talk about some of our farmland owners. Um, there is one farmland owner that we have. He's called Sam Reddy in Bodhan area. He owns about 25 acres of land, and he's in his 50s. There's no second generation that is interested in farming. He already has other sources of income, so his motivation to go through the toil to farm on 25 acres of land slowly fades with time, because finding labor is challenging. Making sure you supervise your farm, being hands on, is it gets challenging as people age. And this is our solution is primarily built for farmland owners who are not interested in farming anymore. And that is where contract farming, we believe, will be able to solve a problem for such farmland owners. Third thing is that farming can be profitable even at a unit level, but one needs to hedge the risk by diversifying in the crop, being present in different areas. Sorry. Yeah. There are several benefits of contract farming that we see. One is, since our focus is on nourishing the carbon content in the soil, we there is higher quality farm maintenance that we do, and there is recurring income that the farmland owners get from us. The second most important thing is, let's talk about small and marginal farmers, right, who own about 2 to 5 acres of land. If it's a paddy farmer, they typically make about 1.5 lakh to 2.5 lakhs a year, and that is nowhere sufficient for his family of four. And this 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs per year is also, it's risk income. It's not assured income. It's variable income from how the crop does. By creating jobs that are in farming, which overlap with the skill set of already the workforce that's in rural area, we are able to create jobs in rural areas, which are giving people, the youth and the small and marginal farmers, opportunities to actually work and live where they belong. The third thing is, by building farming as an asset class, we open it up to people who have the capacity to take risk. It's risk capital. Risk capital goes into farming. Uh, how am I doing on time, Alok?
Ma'am, we
Yeah,
will.
madam, you play wine within 1 minute, ma'am, because we have two more speakers remaining. That's
Sure.
why.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll cover
Yes.
some of these in the questions, and then I will end with this one. So we are still learning, and we have a lot to figure out. The way forward for us is not scaling the land area that we have presence in, but by building solutions that work on our fields and also fields like ours. There are two categories in which that we are thinking about building solutions. One is technology and tools to enable farm labor, increasing their efficiency. We are not replacing farm labor because they cannot be replaced. We only can enable them to improve their productivity. That's one category. The second thing is, we have also been partnering with a lot of seed companies to test and scale seeds that are pest and weather resilient. These are the two ways in which we intend to scale at Farm Chakra, and I'm happy to take more questions at the end of this session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shravya man, to share the whole story of the farm chakra. Indeed, you're nurturing the soil as well as your with the intellectual, in IPM and the great practices in the agriculture. You are serving to good to the community. So, of course, request to the participant to put the questions in the chat box, and also you can raise the hands to ask the question directly to the speakers that we will take at the end of the session. Now I would request to Praveen to introduce to our next speaker.
Yes, thank you, Shravan Madam, for the brief presentation on today's topic. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our next speaker of the day, Dr. Neeta Anilkumar Doshi. She is a serial entrepreneur and founder of Archeon Rain and Clean Enviro Technologies Private Limited. She is having extensive 2 decades of experience in academic and research. She has received several awards and recognitions from prestigious institutions in India and overseas for her contributions. Her company, RTN, is focused on research and development, which can be used for climate change adaptation. On behalf of Manage CIA, I welcome you, madam, and you can take over from here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Let me share the screen so that it will be easy for me to change the slides.
Sure, we'll make you presenter, ma'am.
Yeah.
Then now you can share.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, good to go, ma'am. Please
Right.
continue.
Okay. First of all, a very good afternoon to all the dignitaries and the audience over here. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Manage basically to nurture and groom a researcher who's converted into an entrepreneur. To start with the journey, I would like to narrate something which helped me to come into agriculture, apart from being an engineer. So one fine day, one lady came to me and she was very sad and she asked for a job for me. When I asked her the reason, she started crying and said, I belong to the farmer's family and my husband is suicide because of the drought and the debts which we couldn't pay back. Engineer me was shocked, and a doctor who did her PhD in feasibility of artificial rainfall in iron seeding was miserable. So I started to validate this technology to get artificial rainfall. I targeted the rain shadow area where you get the favorable conditions but don't get the rain, catchment area which is favorable, but then I was able to increase it to 100%, and drought area was Aurangabad where I was able to increase it to 20%. So I have started approaching the government, but by the way I am into the practical field, I was approached by uh, the IITM, that is Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. The airports were facing a problem, economic problems, because of the planes diversion cancellation, and they were at huge economic loss. So they wanted to disperse the fog because the pilots cannot land and cannot take off. So then I said, okay, for 2 years on the Indira Gandhi International Airport, I was able to increase the visibility in the dense fog from 3 meters to 350 meters, and I got a chance to present it to the chairman of airport authority, and it was 16 March 2020, and he was very happy and he said, okay, you come and present to all the dignitaries and all. And he gave me the appointment on 20 March 2020, and alas, if all of you remember, it is the first COVID lockdown which was there. Now nothing I could do, I had to accept because I couldn't change the possibilities. And so I had 2 patents in rain and in fog also. Taking the need of the time, I started working on deactivation of COVID-19, which is the third application. So I first studied whether it is safe to be used in terms for the human beings, in presence of human beings, from Indian Meteorology Department. I got a safety certificate from them. Directly working on COVID-19 was not allowed. So I worked on the similar virus, that is rotavirus. I got very good results. So motivated with that, I went in CCMA, that is the Council for Cellular Microbiology, and I validated my product on that is coronavirus deactivation. But alas, because of the manufacturing deficiencies, I couldn't build that device on a scalable amount, and hence I had to switch over to the fourth application, and that was the air pollution control for enclosed area and the open area. Now you can have vaccines for the virus, you can have you can buy healthy water, you can buy healthy food, but you cannot buy healthy atmosphere. So this was the third pivot, pivot. I studied this term when I converted into an entrepreneur, and I got certified for my products by IIT Delhi. And now it was the end of the second lockdown, which I had to think because I was not able to proceed ahead. So I wanted to go to the root cause, because I was trying to help externally, because I was trying to deactivate the virus, I was trying to improve the atmosphere. But then what about the root cause? The root cause was the immunity of the human beings. It was lost, and so all of we are the live evidences that we have lost our near and dear ones. And this immunity is lost because of the reduced nutrients. So these nutrients are reduced And the main problem which I came into agriculture was it was the use of the pesticides and agrochemicals which had reduced the nutrients, and it was harming the health of the population, the human beings. Along with that, the mother nature was also getting hampered, and the most important basic was the soil was getting poisoned. So the existing solutions are organic farming, but then the initial cost is more, and the yield is insufficient to suffice the global hunger of 828 million of the population. So here we are, Krishi Vardhani, a pesticide-free agriculture enhancer, with our product Krishi Vardhani, which is simple plug and play. You require a routine power supply for that. It consumes very less power. It requires only 5 rupees per day. The device is portable. You can place it anywhere, everywhere. It is affordable. Return on investment is in the first rate itself, and it can be used in controlled atmospheres. So now technology can make use of pesticides unnecessary to grow the natural farm produce, which will suffice the demand of 2050 population. So let's understand the technology in short, how fast and nutritional growth is possible with our Krishi Vardhani. It creates the anions, which creates the potential gradient which increases the cell metabolism, and the effect of this is observed, experienced right from germination. Number of seeds increase, number of leaves, number of length of the leaves, internodes, then the length of the stem, the diameter of the stem was also increased, and the cell survival rate was increased, because of which the photosynthesis increased, the flowering increased, the fruit dropping was reduced, and the quantity of the yield was increased, and the nutritional contents also were increased because of the vital energy which was gained by the crops to absorb more naturally the light, the sun, and the water from the soil. So it was validated in Krishi Vigyan Kendra Center of Excellence Vegetables Indo-Dutch Project Baramati, and we were able to get motivated by the two crops, capsicum and cucumber. We validated in this. And the next verticals were in NIASM, that is National Institute of Abiotic Stress Management, where we worked on brinjal, chili, and tomato. So with the certification and in collaboration with the Incubation Center, Agriculture Development Trust, Baramati, and NIASM, and we are in communication with University of Oxford for automation. So the user benefits now, instead of 4 yields, we are able to get 5 yields. And if we grow this in poly houses, we see 70% increase. So it's the exponential growth which is faster. And now it becomes one of the cheaper options of organic farming, which gives us healthier and safer output, that is the vegetables. And the soil fertility at present will be maintained, and eventually gradually it will be improved. And because of our technology, now water required is also very less. So first I understood from a researcher, when I turned into entrepreneur, I was targeting the consumers, but the consumers are not my customers. So who are my customers then? My customers are the polyhouse, where they can grow vegetables like cucumber, they can grow fruits like the strawberry, and they can grow flowers like gerbera. In hydroponics, which is soilless farming, we can grow leafy vegetables like kale and cabbage. In vertical farming, it was turmeric, which was yellow and black, which we can grow, and aeroponics we can go for spinach. So the overview of the market which can go is, the hydroponics market is growing from 12.1 to 25.1 billion dollars with a CAGR rate of 15.6%. The global vertical farming market is expected to reach 24.11 dollars billion dollars by 2030 with a rate of 22.9, and the total global organic food and beverage market is expected to reach 8,60,625.7 million dollars by 2031 with a rate of 14.9. So this is the huge market where we can grow. Now considering about the competitions, we have technology, but then it is precision farming, or then it is IoT. So basically they are used for monitoring and measuring. None of them goes to reduce the pesticide use and by the increase in the profit. The secondary competitors are organic farming like the magic moringa or ayursin or panchagavya utpadan, and obviously the third major but indirect competitor is the pesticide, the giant companies like Bayer and BASF and the companies shown here. So what are the key differentiators? The key differentiation is we are the first technology company who's using technology to grow the vegetables without the use of pesticides. We are very easy to use. We require a routine power supply. We don't require drones. We don't require barrels, sprays. We don't have to remember the schedules which are to be used for the pesticides, which pesticide, when, how much, where, what. No headache is required. We are a universal technology because we can use this for many kinds of vegetable, flowers, and fruits. We are a eco-friendly technology. We are a sustainable technology because now we are not using pesticides or agrochemicals, but we are using the atmosphere and we are charging that to make it sustainable and green technology. Obviously, we are cost effective because we don't require barrels, drones, or pesticides and anything of that kind. And hence, we are the healthy natural producers to help the suffice demand of the 2050 population. So, seeing about the market size, if we consider Pune itself, the literature survey tells we have approximately 1 lakh of polyhouses. And if we target 1,000 also, we will be a 5 million market. If SAM is India, then we have 36 states, and which if we target 1 lakh of the devices also, we will be 500 million market. And TAM is world, we have 195 countries, in which we have 76,208 districts. And if we target 25 lakhs also, we will be 12 million, 500 million a market. So initially we are trying and we are serving Pune, which is a nearby center to us, from where our team, which is multi-vibrant and multidisciplinary. I am Neeta Doshi, CEO with 11 years of experience in research and development with 4 patents. He is Anil Doshi, CTO with 26 years of experience, operations and electrical maintenance. He is Mehul with CMO, 10 years of experience in marketing and sales into B2B and B2G. They are our mentors. Dr. Jagdish Rane is principal scientist with 31 years of experience in physics of plants in Niazam, Baramati. Dr. Mohan is atmospheric science atmosphere scientist G, 30 years of experience in Indian Meteorology Department. Dr. Sagnik De is CERCA and WHO member with the years of 20 years experience, and Dr. Anish is a virologist with 10 years of experience. Because of these combinations, I was able to confidently launch into agriculture to see that how I can implement a product which will be helpful for all the people to get a good diet, and to the customers who are my customers to gain a profit, and that to a huge profit. So at present, we got the best business case venture award from Venture Center Pune. We are in communication with Jain Irrigation and individual customers from Pune, Bangalore, Singapore, and USA. Patent is already published. We raised 5 lakh funds. We are into product automation, and we are certified, validated by KVK Baramati and Niazam. These are the few accolades because I stay in a rural area. Wall Street Magazine of USA was there to interview me to see the contribution which I have given as the technology to the rural area. Champions of Change was the honor I got from Wipro to see how engineering I taught. Best business case from this I got. I presented to the business tycoons, international, national. Then the deactivation, Corona was selected for hackathon. For Israel, we were selected for mentorship, and Best Innovation and Technology Award was given by FICCI. These are the few paper cuttings. I was felicitated by Agriculture Trust Baramati, and happy to share that Indian Medical Association gave me the title "मी माझ्या आई वडिलांचा अभिमान, माझी मुलगी माझी शान." That is a woman which got this felicitation was very important for me. So I would like to thank and share and summarize my data that when you want to enter into entrepreneurship, you have to pivot, because I had to pivot from different products. First thing. Second thing is I had to have a patience, lot of patience. And the third thing is you must need the support of your family, because being a woman was not easy for me to come to this stage, to get recognized and help the farmers to achieve and to make the vision of making the mother nature clean and green. With this, I feel I am in time, and I would like to thank once again Manage for giving me this platform. I'm
Yes,
open to the
ma'am.
questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Neeta ma'am. It's a really great story that how the research can be converted into a great innovation. And you started with innovation with artificial rain, then it's applicable for the coronavirus, and then you came into the agriculture domain to to provide the nutrition from the iron. So it's a really great innovation to know from your end. So yeah, of course, this will help to the many farmers and the to create a good sustainable agricultural impact. So now we'll move to the last speaker of the session. I would request to Praveen introduce the next speaker.
Yes, thank you, Neeta madam, and thank you for giving this inspiring session. Where awards and accolades have definitely inspired us, and a lot of women entrepreneurs will look forward to follow your footsteps. So
Thank you.
now we will introduce and invite our last speaker of the day, Mrs. Sumana Brahma. Sumana is the heading South Indian operations of Farmneed Agribusiness Private Limited, and she is having more than 30 years of experience in IT-enabled service, agri-tech, and e-commerce industry. Her company Farmneed provides weather data services for agri sector. On behalf of Manage CIA, I welcome you, madam. You can take over from here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone present out here. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to thank the Manage team, Dr. Sarvanan, and everybody else from Manage, Amit, Alok, Praveen, everybody else, for giving us this opportunity to really talk about us and talk about the solution that we have and the way we are trying to help farming and farmers to really take care of the climate risks. Now, coming to Farmneed, as we have already in the intro, Praveen has spoken a line about us. However, we are not only taking care of the weather data. Farmneed is more trying to help the farmers to mitigate the climate risk in agriculture using technology and AI simultaneously. And parallelly, also we are the robust data mining activity which is happening through our solution that is going to definitely help in doing more for this ecosystem for the farmers. Next slide, please. Now coming to our journey, in the sense our founder is Mr. Anshu Jyoti Das. He's a serial entrepreneur once again. He has about 12 years of experience in tech entrepreneurship. Now the concept started in 2010, sorry, when he was working for a sustainable tourism project. It was a huge project of UNESCO and along with the West Bengal government. So at that point in time, he came across the requirement and the importance of weather data and more so weather data specific to geolocations and data which can really help in many sustainable activities. However, the project did not materialize due to certain roadblocks and which I mean, he moved into the weather data concept, and he started his first organization called Express Weather in this particular domain. And that is India's first weather company, private weather company, can say. It is back in 2010 that was started. Now through this company, he served reputed institutions in agri, in energy, and in sports and entertainment sector for almost 7 years. After that, as mentioned over there, slowly we realized that Indian farmers are like showing more interest for the implications of the weather rather than just the data of it, and which definitely helped us in looking into more in this particular segment, like how this data can be utilized more in this, in giving more help, in providing more help to the farmers. Along with Anshu Jyoti, he has his co-founder, Mr. Ritesh Singh. In 2020 January, Farmneed Agribusiness was started. 2021 April, the business went commercial, and our first commercial business was in 2021 April. In 2022, we increased our domestic business. At the same time, we moved into overseas overseas business in the form of our business in Bangladesh. And in 2023, we are continuing with this previous two. Along with that, in the domestic business area, one major activity is World Bank financed smart project of Maharashtra, where we have started working. We can just have a look at our team. We have the weather modeling team headed by Shomashri Chatterjee. We have our business head, who's almost more than 20 years of experience. Data science and modeling team, Devujyoti Dasgupta, who's having more than 12 years in this particular segment. I'm heading the operations in South India. and we have started our South Indian operation last year, once again 2022. So some of the accolades and recognitions that we have received. Now, moving to the next slide, please. Now, as we were talking about climate risk, the problems related to the climate risk, let's have a look at them. Rather the risk that related to the climate, let's have a look. The first is definitely the mutation of the disease. It has been observed that disease has become more aggressive, and the mutation of it is making it much more difficult to control. And as a result, it is causing almost 35 to 40% of crop failures. Scarcity of water definitely has increased, and we know that more than 60% of land is still rain-fed. Even in India also, it is more than 50% of land is still rain-fed. So which makes it like more dependency on the natural resources that we have, and the scarcity of water makes the farming definitely very, very difficult. And the third point that related to climate is the extreme weather conditions, and that has definitely gone up in the last few years, as we have seen the extreme weather conditions in the form of cyclone, heavy rainfall, all floods, all these are much, much higher now. Now coming to the available solutions, some of the which was existing in the market, if we can see that related to the disease is mainly the schedule-based spraying, which is mostly guided by the input companies. And in a scheduled manner, the farmers use pesticides to take care of the disease, the chemicals and pesticides to take care of the disease. And this is the problem over here is this is a corrective measure, it can be done only after, or it is a corrective measure in most of the cases. That is when the disease is already set in at that point in time. After the identification only, this is done. So many a times what happens is it cannot stop the disease from actually affecting the crop. So that is where we have come up with a solution. If we can move to the next slide, please. Now, what we talk about when we are saying that disease is definitely one of the main problems of weather change is we are talking about forecast of disease. We have seen that most of the time the action against disease is reactive. There is also other action. In the later part of the presentation, we'll see that. However, what we are saying is it is a forecast model, forecast solution, what we are providing to the farmer. So the disease forecasting specific to the farm and specific to the crop, because the farm is geotagged, and so specific to the farm, the disease forecasting takes place. Other than that, definitely the farm-specific advisory for plant protection also goes along with the forecast to the farmer. So as a result, what happens is the farmer can use or stop the disease from setting in. So which helps them in, as we were talking about, it is a proactive measure through which the farmer can stop the disease before it is setting in, and as a result can save the crop almost 100% in this case. And there are other benefits also, as we were talking. I said that we'll talk about it. Is other way is the scheduled manner of spraying activity, which generally the farmer does. That is irrespective of the fact whether the disease is going to be there or not. The farmer is going on and spraying chemicals just to ensure that the disease disease is not coming, and whether there is going to be disease, whether that disease is going to set in, all these points are not taken into consideration, and which results into definitely use of chemicals unnecessarily many a times, because the farmer is just doing it in a scheduled manner. So as a result, unnecessarily he is spending for the produce, which increases his production cost. And over here, through our solution, what the farmer is doing is he will be using the chemical only when there is a forecast of the disease. So it is it is a forecast based use only when it is required, where he is saving on the cost and directly he is getting benefited by having a lower production cost. So saving, as we have seen, almost 20% of the agrochemical usage can be reduced using this particular method. And there are other benefits also. When the scheduled manner forecasting happen, many a times unnecessarily and heavy usage of chemical takes place, which definitely results into deterioration of the environment and also degrading the soil. And definitely residue is a point which as we can see that through our method, the farmer can even control the residue in crop, that is chemical and pesticide residue in the crop. So these are the benefits the farmer gets when they are using our solution. Now, other than the forecast of the disease, data-driven irrigation and spray operation is what we help them to do, because our solution provides them with micro weather data. Once again, it is specific to their crop, specific to their farm. So farm-specific weather data is provided to them with the guidance of which helps them to definitely take care of the irrigation and spray operation in a much more better manner. And also we are helping them to take care of the yield management by doing data-driven nutrition management for them. So we are helping them in these three major areas. That is, one is forecast of disease, second is definitely the weather data, and third is helping them in yield management. So next slide, please. Now this is just a simple it is a SaaS platform, so which is reaching the farmer through the mobile app. So as you can see, it is very easy to use. The farmer can get on board very easily. There's very few basic inputs are taken, so they don't need to put in a lot of data when they start using it. The basic inputs are like what is the crop, the location of their farm, and these are the 2-3 inputs that they are putting in. Now, once these inputs are there, there are 3 models, as we can see: the disease model, the micro weather model, and the geophysical data. These are in the back end. This gets simulated in the back end, and that helps them to get their custom-made dashboard through which they can get the services. So they get the disease alert in their app. They can talk to our consultant remotely, like over the phone, or they can even communicate with the consultant for any kind of specific problem. And also they are getting the weather forecast on an hourly basis with all the required detailed weather data. Other than this, we are also providing them with a community forum, which is a very, which has stakeholders from the complete ecosystem. So any kind of issues which they want to discuss in the community, they can take it up. Even if they want to post pictures and take it up and discuss that, that is also possible. So beyond whatever service that we are providing through the app, if they're interested in getting more service through us, through our specialist and consultant, they can get that. And also there is a podcast mechanism, which is in a local language. So podcast is like recorded information about sowing, about the crop can be provided to them. So this is kind of like replicating the radio information which used to be there for the farmers some time back. Even today it is there, but then the disadvantages of radio has been taken care of it. They can listen to it at their own whatever time suitable to them, and they can repeat and listen to it many times if they want to. Next slide, please.
Sumana ma'am, we have 2 minutes more.
Yeah.
So we can
so
take the
business
question.
model, I would not, we have product strategy where we are basically having two ways of handling it. One is the integrated business model, where integrated business suite, where we are basically, institutions are taken into it. It is a solution where the farmer is there, there is a scout there, and also that the project sponsor or the institutions there in this particular model. We can discuss this in Q&A if it is required. And other is one farm solution where directly the farmer can take up this solution. Now, in case of pricing strategy, we'll discuss it if it is required. Now, we reach out to the institutions directly and also through our channel partner. And the last mile, we connect directly the farmers, FPOs or farmer cooperatives, we are connecting through the rural entrepreneurs. By connecting them through the rural entrepreneurs, we are also helping, jobs for the rural youth, you can say. So next slide, please. Now, some of these value props we have already spoken. Positive economic gain for the farmers is definitely when they are getting more protection, there's higher yield. And also, as we have said, the farmer is saving on their production cost, so which is also helping them to get more out of their farming. Food safety definitely is, since the residue is controlled, need-based application of agrochemical, which helps in food safety, increase in operational efficiency and farm business. As I have stated in the beginning, only a lot of data is generated, which is secondary data generated while this is used, this solution is used, which can be analyzed, and a lot of help can be there for the farmers, even for the government. And increase in outreach for farmers and agribusiness, increase outreach in the through the use of the community forum. And also it helps them to stay connected, and they can share and they can get a lot of help through this community forum. And environment,
Yeah.
value over here is like reduces the wastage of natural resource, and it definitely reduces the contamination of and soil degradation, as I have specified. It reduces emission of the greenhouse gases as well. Next slide, please.
Ma'am, quickly we have to end
Yeah,
the.
so that is it. I think we will move to the next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will go to the next slide. So right now, we are into this space as what I have discussed. Now, in future, we definitely want to go ahead with higher user acquisition, that is for the next years, and higher revenue per user is what we are also will be targeting by putting in more crops. I have specified this is crop specific. So more crops we have capability with, we will be in a position to have more revenue through that. Right now, we are only covering about 3 months of the whole year, the solutions that we have, the crops that we have more. High revenue per user by integrated service. We are also kind of wherever required having additional services already planned. So we are also tying up with a lot of other institutions like insurance companies and all to provide with integrated solutions to the farmers. Next slide, please. So that is it as far as Farmneed is concerned. So we are trying to help the farmers to earn more and at the same time to produce safe crops with the minimum kind of degradation of environment and soil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sumana ma'am, to share that what kind of services Farmneed is providing, whether it is related to the forecasting diseases or whether it is related to the atmospheric changes, or maybe how they can increase the yield. So it's really a good digital platform that you are working with the farmers. So now we take the questions from the participants. There are so many questions. But I'll take one by one and request to participant that they can raise their hands to ask questions directly to the speakers. So the first question is asked by the Thanak Pandey. That question is to Shravya ma'am, that how you fixes the prices for the produce, as the competition is more from the regular market and the produce is very perishable. So how you are fixing these prices for the customers or maybe that to B2B level?
Thank you. Can you repeat the name of the person who asked this question?
Yeah, Tarang Parwal, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, Parang, for the question. Tarang, so what we are doing currently is we're growing only non-perishable produce at large scale because our entire focus is on understanding the farming science and increasing the yield while increasing the carbon content in the soil. So we usually only grow paddy, maize, and soya at large scale, and we already have food processors that export our produce in this for these three uh, crops. And we typically get a slightly higher than market value because it's residue free and because we provide traceability data. At this point, we are focusing on solving the problem related to the farming. So yeah, I hope I
Yeah.
answered your question.
Yeah, I think Tarang, I hope you got the answer of this question. The one more question is coming to you, ma'am, only that is from the Kumar Pandey. That is asking that what are the support and difficulties involved when you are converting the urban waste into the compost? So whether you are dealing in this domain and what are the difficulties are there?
Okay, thanks Kumar for that question. So we actually use a product that Coromandel makes. It's called Bhubagya, and there is one more product they make. This is granules of city compost. So we are not collecting city compost and converting it. There is one approach that we follow, right? Which is when you are building a startup, there are so many challenges in the value chain, right from the start to end. We are actually retaining our focus on finding solutions that already exist, and instead of reinventing the wheel, we are using those certain solutions that exist in the market. So we use the granules that Coromandel Fertilizers makes from city compost.
Okay, okay, thank you. There is one participant, Kannan. He raised his hand to ask the question. I request to Saurabh, could you unmute Kannan so he can directly ask the question?
Thank you. My question
Yeah.
is to Shravya. So you said your area is spread out in different parts of the location, right? 250 acres, I think.
Correct.
So do you have any plans for other crops also, or only the crops which you mentioned only? You wanted to focus?
So we have, we operate in 10 acres and above a single site, but we have about 10 to 12 sites in a radius of 5 to 7 kilometers. That's our hub there. We call it as a we refer to it as one farming hub. And right, we have started with paddy, maize, and soya. We are slowly expanding into sunflower and other crops too. So that our focus is mostly non-perishable crops.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I hope Kannan you got the answer.
Yeah.
There's one more question asked by Sanjeev to Neeta Doshi ma'am. That she wants to know that what kind of ions exactly that device is producing, what exactly the price and how much area it will cover for the farm and what benefits it will get in his farm as compared to the existing solutions.
Thank you for this question. Basically, I generate the particles which are required, anions they are called as, and these particles help to electrify the atmosphere and get the increase in the yield without the use of the pesticides. Like when in the forests, we don't require any pesticides or agri-chemicals, and there we have good yields. So that is the kind of atmosphere which is created by the particles which I generate. About the pricings, let me know the area where you want to put this device, and we can connect and have a solution for that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Sumana, ma'am, you have one question that what kind of data, how you exactly you are collected, and how frequently crop-wise your data update in your system, and how it is going to be connect with the farmers.
See, data, as I have also mentioned, it is AI-driven solution which is going to the farmers. So the data that the farmers are putting in, it is not that we are, it is a user who is putting in, is related to their farming. the data. That is, as I have mentioned in the beginning, there are certain basic data taken in the form of what is the crop, what is the sowing date of that particular sowing or pruning date of that particular crop, and the geolocation of the particular farm. These are the data which we are taking in the beginning. Other than that, everything else, as the farming goes on, the farmers are supposed to put it in themselves. So the basic data is taken by us. It is not that we are going and collecting. Now, whenever there is any kind of input used, that is getting tracked in the app. So as a result, this is also a tool which is going to provide them with the traceability complete. That is from the seed to farm gate traceability is what is possible through this app. So the data complete to a particular farming season will be there once the season is over, when they are using this app. So other than that, it is a model, a numerical model for this thing weather, and it is proprietary model which is running at the back end. As I have said, this model gets simulated. So all other data required to forecast disease related to the pathogen or related to anything else, related to other factors, all these are coming from the system itself.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for the brief info. There are so many questions are coming in chat box. We will take the last question from the Vijay sir. Vijay sir, you can directly ask the question. Due to the time constraint, we are not able to take the all question, but we will take the last question of the Vijay Shastri sir. So you can ask the question. Saurabh, please unmute to Vijay Shastri sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You can ask the question now.
I have one small question regarding this fog dispenser. Have you explored any agriculture applications in this fog dispenser? Because we are working in horticulture crops, and many a times there is a big issue of this fog, in particularly in Rajasthan, also in Gujarat, also in certain parts of Maharashtra. So have you done any trials, or is there any application in agriculture for this fog dispenser?
Yeah, I think this question is to Neeta ma'am.
Yeah, basically with the experience of this fog, like cloud in the sky is rain and cloud on the ground is fog. So we were able to disperse and we are able to increase the visibility in that. So in agriculture itself, we have validated in polyhouses. In controlled atmosphere, we have validated for cucumber, capsicum, brinjal, chili, tomatoes and all. So it's working fine over there because they have foggers there basically, but the fog is different and the foggers are different. But it will work in both for the foggers as well as the fog where it is present.
Okay.
So it will be a
But
controlled
in the
atmosphere at present.
open fields, is it validated? This device validated in the
Open field, it is validated at the airport terminals. I didn't get time to validate this in the open air for the open crops. So next step will be that only. I'll be validating this in the open atmosphere. But then with the
Maybe
experience of
I would
open
like
air
to connect
fog
with
dispersion.
you, Neeta ma'am, on this. And if you think in this season, we can have some control trials done. And we also can study, because we are having good research in mainly in the pomegranates. So we can validate it on that.
Sure.
If you wish to go ahead on this.
Yeah, sure. We'll be like, I'll be happy to collaborate and go forth and to study this.
Okay, I will
We'll
get your
communicate.
contact details
Yeah.
from
Neeta ma'am. Yeah, thank you, Neeta ma'am. I hope Vijay sir, you got the answer, and it's a really good platform to connect each other. So we are sharing the details of the all our today's speakers through the register email IDs to the all participants, and we are sharing the presentations which are shared by the speakers of the today's session. So now we'll come to the end, and I would like to say thank you on behalf of Managed CIA team to the all participants and the guest speakers. Request to all participants, kindly check the chat box where we have floated the upcoming programs of the Manage, that is Agri Eureka, a national level business challenge, where you will get the opportunity to get incubation support from the Manage. Also, Manage has invited applications for the cohort 9, where the innovative entrepreneurs or the business ideas will get opportunity to got the fund of 5 lakhs or 25 lakh rupees on the idea and the prototype stage. So kindly check the Manage CIA website where you will find more details. Also, I request to all participants kindly fill the feedback form of the webinar series. So you can tell us what kind of topics you are looking for and what time you are preferred to attend the sessions. Also, tomorrow there will be the last session webinar of this Women Under Lead Tech Development webinar series. So I will see you tomorrow for the same time. So thank you once again all for being there with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.